All right. So now let's just say that I'm going to modify this class, the student class here, and we'll add another class, and we'll have that class called maybe like courses, right? Or a course. So the student will take a course. Okay. So somewhere in here, the student have the ID, the credit hours earned, point GPA, and so on. But I also want the student to take a course like Java 1, right? So in here, it's going to say something like a course, and then the course name. You call it Java 1 is new course, like that. Okay. Because I could just put like I could just put string here, right? If you go private string Java 1 and is the name of that string, if you do this, right? You only have one instance of that data. I want that course of Java 1 to have the the course number, the title, the credits for that course, and so on, right? So if you do that, you would have to use an object. So that's why we created an object of course. And so that is the intention here, right? To do that. So this is the course object. And if you have another class, will be like a second course, maybe Linux. That's another course. So let's go ahead and create our class inside the same package. And this is going to be just the course. Again, by convention, it's always singular. So if you think of a course, you have this data, right, of the course number. This could be a string because you might have the word, Java, and then, whatever it is, or maybe 15253 dash something. So put a string number here, a string type. And this could be course ID. And we'll have a name as well. So course name, or actually course title, if you want to call it. Either way is fine. And we'll have integer for the credits. Just put credits here. So I mean, just those three. You could do more, but just those three. You could have like what division it is, what semester it's been taught at, and things like that, right? Or who is the instructor and so forth. So go ahead and create our getters and setters. Again, shortcut. Select all of them. So getters and setters. Again, accessors. Make sure you know those terms. They mean exactly the same. And let's go ahead and create a constructor. Yeah, so we'll have a constructor, of course, and we're going to assign the data. We're going to pass the data to it. So the first thing is the course ID, followed by the course name and credits. This is when we create a course, right? Then we can use the set course ID course ID, set course name, and so on. So we set all the default data passed to it. And notice I did not have a blank constructor, or I mean that constructor that doesn't take any parameters. So if I don't do that, then I cannot use the blank, the default constructor. Since I have one, if I want to use it, I have to explicitly create it myself. Java will not provide that for you. So that means if I go back to the student here, this won't work. It doesn't exist anymore, right? Because I have one. So now we have this class is available now. It doesn't do anything other than just set data and store data for us. And so in the student class, we will create a new course and want to pass this information to it. So the first field, if you put the cursor in here and do a control spacebar, it tells you the constructor that you have. Right? You have course ID followed by the name and the credits. In this case, it's important. The order is important. Java 1. No, it's not right. It's the ID. I'm sorry, I gave it the wrong. ID would be, we'll just say JV101 or something. That's the course title. Course credit number, course name, and then the credits will be, it's a 3-credit course. Okay. So this happens when we instantiate an object of student. Because when we create a student class, all these will be ran inside that class, right? So when it runs to line 9, it's going to create that object for us of Java 1 as a course that is owned or taken by the student. So now you treat this just like your data fields. Okay? That means in order to get to the course class and get these data, like the name and ID and so on, you need to have a getter, right? A getter for the Java 1 object. So if you don't have that, for example, if you go back to the show student information here, on the very top here, if I want to, let's see, if I go and type in student 1 dot as you can see, I cannot get a course name, right? You can't get the course name, a course ID, course name. Let's see. If I get course ID. Okay, it doesn't exist, even though it existed in here. Right, it's a course ID here. So only get here is through the object, which is Java 1. So Java 1 is actually in here. So if I type in student1.java1, you see that Java 1 is there, the object is there, and then I can get the class name from that object. Okay, so you get course ID, and then I will assign this to a string course ID equals that. So this course ID belongs to the student 1 because it's inside the student 1 object. Student 2 also has the same one because we set it to have the same course, right? As a default. So student 1, that means every student you created from this class is going to have the same class. Okay. So if you print down here, system out, you print the course. I should say course ID. Course ID. And if I do the same thing for the other student down there, if I copy this and put down here for the second student, this is course ID 2 for student 2. Okay. Now I'll just copy the output statement to display this as well. So this is for the student 2. And they both share the same course. So run. So they both have Java 101. Okay, because they share the same variable. So this is like a default. This is the default data. If you want to change this data, how would you do that? I want to change so that student 2 has a different course, not Java 1, but maybe Java 2. How do you change from here? Sorry? Where would you put it? Right. In here? What would I put in here? I mean, you got that idea. You got the right idea. So remember, this is a function, right? A function inside the course. Because Java 1 is an object of the course class. So I'm calling Java 1 dot course ID. This is the same thing as saying course Java equals new course. Right? It's the same thing. I could put like here, Java 2, Java Prog 2, and then maybe full credit course. Okay, this part here, it's exactly the same as the one inside the student class, right? Except this one here is contained inside the student. This one is inside the show student. So to reach there and change the student's Java, because now this course here doesn't belong to anybody, right? It doesn't belong to student 2 or student 1. It just itself floating in here. Okay, so to change to use this constructor, or since we didn't instantiate that in there, because it creates automatically for us. It automatically creates this constructor around this constructor, sets the data for us. We cannot, reinstantiate this object. Okay, we cannot reinstantiate it. So, but we have these getters and setters. Okay, so you can go in here and say, after I set the new student to, I want to override its Java 1 object. I know we call Java 1, but maybe it should be different. So to change this data, you will call the student2 object because it belongs to the student2. So the Java 1 object belongs to the student2. And that's why we have those setters. Set course ID. We pass in the course ID to that course. So here I could say Java, maybe Java 2, right? So just one extension over. Here, I'm calling directly from here. So to change that, I would say java.set course ID, and then maybe JJ 102 or something, and then Java prog 2, and then 4 credits. Okay, and I'll do the same thing up here. So Java 2 is the course ID. The name is Java Programming 2, and then the credit is 4. Oh, sorry, no, it's incorrect. I was thinking about the constructor. Can't do that, right? Just 1. So there's just a course ID for that one, sorry. So the course ID, I just want to show you that this part is exactly the same as this part. Only difference is the object name. And this one here we call directly from this class called to show student, whereas this one I have to go to the student2 object because now it belongs to the student2. Okay? So student2.java1, which is this object, and this is a class, so a class has its own properties in here as well. So to get to these properties of functions, I have to go another dot and then set and get the data. There's like 2 classes over. This is student1, student class. Java 1 is in the course class, and then the course ID is from that course. So I set the course ID. Okay, I just set for the student2. So student1 should still be Java 1, and the student2 now is set to student2. I'm Java 2. Because we changed that to Java 2 now. Otherwise, it would still say JV 101. Okay, so what we did here is, again, this is something called what? We have a data field. These are all my data fields. Again, fields are variables outside of a function. When I have a data field such as this, and the data type is a class and not a primitive type, then this is called a composition, right? Okay? It's belonging to that object, belonging to the student class. So student owns this object or has this course. Okay, so it's composed of a Java 1 course. And if you have another class, maybe like school, right? It's the other way around, but maybe belong to a certain school. So that's another class. So again, the student has another object. Okay. So this is a composition when you have a data field that is a type of another class, whether it's the one that you create or something that is provided by Java. Right. So if you were to use like the scanner, right, input here is for new scanner. I'm sure you're already familiar with that already. This is a composition because it's composed of another class, of the scanner class. Here's where a student has an object called input. Okay, so this is something you'll be familiar with, exactly the same as this course. And then this is similar to your assignment, right, your project. So the student is that sandwich, right? A sandwich has bread, and sandwich has a filling type. Okay, so in that class you have your own, that class has its own properties and attributes, functions, and things like that. So, and you get those data from here, from the main program. Because if I do it separately like this, then again, this Java is just the course itself. It does not belong to the student 1 or student 2 because it's not contained within it.